Welcome, Greg. Thanks for joining us in studio. Welcome all the YouTube folks. We're here with John Sinclair, and he's going to walk us through another pain-free Movement Monday. And we'll see you here again in about 21 minutes. I'll jump back on, John.
Hey, buddy.
And he's going to let her rip, buddy.
All right, folks. Great seeing you again. Today, what we're going to focus on is some strategies for the neck and the upper back, or the thoracic spine. So the cervical spine and thoracic spine. The goal for today is to create a little bit of mobility, so some better motion in those regions of the body, so the neck and the thoracic spine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of exercise that is going to integrate motion of the neck and the thoracic spine. And then we'll finish with a little bit of recovery. So first things we're going to start with is we're going to drive some circulation locally to the region of the neck. You're going to take your fingers, your magic little fingertips here, and we're going to rub the back of the head. So if you see me from behind, I'm going to just give the back of my head a little bit of a scrub. And I'm creating friction on the bones of the back of the head. You're going to go right up the scalp and right to the back of the head. Okay, so go ahead, now that you've done that, go ahead and look up and down. You should feel like, oh, that feels nice. And while we're here, we're going to turn your head side to side. Get a sense of what that feels like. You rotate the head. And then let's tilt your ear side to side, like you're pouring water out of your eardrums. Okay, and then we're going to go to a different landmark. So now you're going to take your thumbs, you're going to put them right behind the ear. You're going to scrub this little region right back behind the earlobe. You'll feel a bone back there. That's called the mastoid process. We're going to scrub that bone, drive some friction to it. Okay, and then we're going to try up and down. You feel like that feels a little nicer. You're going to turn your head left to right. And we're going to tilt the ear side to side. Okay, so the next spot we're going to go to is we're going to go to the collarbone. So you take your hand and we just do a little scrub on the top of the collarbone. The way I like thinking of it is if your collarbone was a shelf, we're just dusting the top of the shelf off. So use a little pressure, create a little friction, a little heat there. And we're going to move that bone for you. So all the muscles on the front of the neck attach just below and underneath the collarbone, but their connective tissue runs across the collarbone. So we're going to go right on top of that. Then we're going to go to the other side. Okay, and then let's test our three-way neck here. We're going to go up and down. Feels nicer. I'm going to go left to right. And then we're going to go side to side. You should feel like as we do it, all these motions are feeling a little bit better. Okay, so now we're going to go to where the sternoclavicular ligament is. It's where the muscles of the neck come down, attached to the breastbone. And where the collarbone attaches to the breastbone, you're going to feel a little space there. So the collarbone comes down and then it ends. Get right to where it ends with your index finger, and you're just going to go across that little ligament there. Go up and down. I can go across it. Okay, and then go to the other side. Collarbone's going to end right about, boom, it drops off. There's a little ligament there. We're going to rub that one. So I scrub, scrub, scrub. Give that one a little bit of a massage. Okay, and we're going to go right on the sternum now. Both hands across the sternum, going up and down. Okay, and then let's check going up, down. Because the sternalis muscle attaches all the muscle runs across the sternum and comes up to the sternocleidomastoid and into the jaw. Probably feel like you got more range of motion headed backwards than you did before. And then we rotate, and then we side tilt. Okay, let's do some rub and scrub for the rib cage. Because we got the sternum right there, let's go into the ribs, right across the chest bones, and work your way down to the bottom of your ribs, because this is going to affect how well you reach. So let's do one side, and then we're going to test. Do one side across the ribs, little scrub. Okay, and then go ahead and step forward and reach with both arms and see if you feel any different on your left one than your right one. Okay, and then if you did, let's do the other side. I'll cross my rib cage, across the chest. Get on the side of the ribs, both hands, and then go ahead and reach. Reach. Go ahead and lift your head up and down, side to side, tilt your ear. Okay, so now that we've done a little bit of that to get the upper or the neck going, let's do some stuff for the upper back. So I'm gonna have you stagger your stance. That means you're gonna put one foot a little further forward than the other. So I've got my left foot further forward than my right. All we're gonna do is we're gonna reach across the body at about shoulder height. Reach across the body and just slowly reach and turn. Slowly reach and turn. So we're adding some rotation in the thoracic spine. And I want your eyes to look straight ahead for me. Eyes look straight ahead. So as my spine is rotating to my left, in the camera it'll look like I'm rotating to the right. As I'm rotating to my left, my neck is going to rotate in the opposite direction if my eyes are fixed forward. Okay? And we're going to put the other foot forward. I like staggering the stance in these drills because it takes some stress off the lumbar spine. Right across. Okay, now we're going to stagger stance. We're going to switch our directions of our reach. This time we're going to bring it over our head. And as I reach over my head, go ahead and let your hip move to the side. It moves to the side just a little bit. And this is going to create some side flexion in the thoracic spine. So we're getting a little bit of a sideways bend as I reach up towards the sky. Okay, and then we're stagger stance the other way. Same idea. Side flexion. Complete. Okay, stagger stance again. Now we're going to add those two together. So what's that going to look like? I'm going to take one hand, I'm going to drive it over my body, and the opposite hand is going to come underneath like I was reaching before. So I've got one going overhead, and then the other one's going to come underneath and reach. Okay, this is what we call type 1 rotation of the spine. It's a combination of side flexion and opposite side rotation. It's so cool that our spine can do that. It's not just can move in one direction, it can do it in multiple directions, which is pretty important for us as human beings, being able to reach in odd positions, right? So we go, the other arm comes up, this one comes underneath as we reach. Up and underneath. Up and underneath. Up and underneath. Very good. Okay, shake that out. Now we're going to integrate those motions with a step. We're going to integrate it with a lunge. So let's go forward lunge and then reach overhead. Forward lunge, reach overhead. So if I step with my opposite foot, I'm going left foot, right arm, right foot, left arm. We're just going to alternate. Nice, comfortable pace. Nothing super fast. We're just stepping and coordinating different motions together to get the spine healthy and happy. Okay, so let's go sideways step now. Sideways step with overhead reach. Sideways step with overhead reach. Trying to teach the body to coordinate all these patterns together to make it strong in these odd positions. So we call this integrated body weight strength training. So I'm integrating the foot, the ankle, the hip and pelvis, the spine, and the arms all together. Okay, and then let's add a little rotational step. So I'm going to step at the same time, reach my arm overhead and to the side as I flex my spine. Start small because this is kind of a really goofy movement. So small step, come home. Small movement to the spine, doesn't need to be big because your whole body's moving here. So you're tipping water out of your ear. Tipping water out of your ear. Okay, so we did some side flexion. Let's go ahead and try a little bit of rotation now. So I'm going to step, rotate my arm across my lead leg, step, rotate across. Step, rotate across. Okay, let's do that side lunge now. So I'm going to step to the side. I'm going to turn my shoulders towards my lead leg. Just do the same side here. Step and reach. Step and reach. Okay, you're going to do the same thing the other side now. Step, rotate across. Come on. Step, rotate across. If you're feeling this in your lower back a little bit, pay attention to this leg. As I step, I'm going to rotate, but I'm going to let my hip turn with me. That'll take a little bit of pressure off your lower back. So step, turn, let that backside foot rotate with you. Time. Cool. With this one, we're going to step back and open up. So I'm going to step back, open up, rotate across. Good. Same thing. Let that trail hip hit it. That'll be easier on your back. Nice and smooth. No rush. Two more. One more. Good. Okay, we're going to go to the other side. Step. Time. Good. All right. The last thing we're going to do is a little bit of recovery. And we're going to do some active motion exercises or some active stretching here. And we're going to go into some flexion and extension of the spine. So we did lots of rotation and side flexion. We haven't done a lot of flexion and extension. I reserved that here for the recovery. So all we're going to do is I'm going to have you just round your spine down towards your toes. Tuck your chin. Then unroll it for me. We're going to roll on the way down. Get a nice stretch into the spine. Unroll it on the way up. Just keep repeating. So roll, 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 roll. Your hands roll, your hips roll, and then unroll it. I'm looking up to the ceiling at the top, down behind my feet, come down here, unroll it. Eyes go to the ceiling, extend that spine one more time. And then I'm back down. Okay, let's take a long stride and work on stretching the spine in a long stride here. So we're going to involve the hips a little bit. So I got one leg kind of far ways away from me, and I'm going to keep my heel off the ground. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to reach to the sky. Think about having all the bones of the spine being pulled apart and stretch the abdominal wall away from the pelvis. Just reach up to the sky. We're going to hold that nice long extended position. Tickle the clouds. If you can reach to touch a cloud. Hold that stance, that pose. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Slowly let your hands come down. Bring your feet together. Other side. I'm going to try to get as long as I can on that hip. Reach my arms to the sky. Pull the belly button in. Hold the spine nice and long. Tickle the clouds and hold. Bring your hands down. We're going to go really wide sumo stance. So we're going to shift your weight. So try to shift your weight towards one leg. Rotate the spine. Hold that position. Take this hand, put it behind your back. So this hand comes behind my back. As I shift my weight, think about staying long through the spine and hold that pose. Long through the shoulder, or wide through the shoulders, long through the spine. Okay, come up. Switch arms behind you. Shift your weight. Rotate, hold that position. Back up. Keep your hands out in front of you, or reach your hips back. Let your arms fall towards the ground so your spine can kind of be a little rounded here. Tuck your chin. Straighten your legs as much as you can. Hold that pose. Eyes come up slowly. Look about 3 feet ahead of you. Stand up and stay on your hips. Waddle your feet back in. We're going to a long stance from here. Arms can be at about shoulder height. We're just going to slowly rotate from left side to right side. Once you get to your end range of motion, we're just going to do a little pulse. I'll gain a little bit more motion there. Come back to this side. A little bit of a pulse here. Other side. Bit of a pulse. Adding some elasticity at the end range of motion is what we're doing here. And then back to the side. Okay, same thing, but we're going to stagger our stance. Nice and long. Elbows up. Rotate. Get a set, let your nervous system sense where your end range of motion is. And then once I'm there, add that little elastic bounce. Okay, and come to the back side. Okay. One more time each. Coming to the side. Boom. balance it. Okay, hold your feet together. Right, close together. You can see my feet. There we go. Nice and tall, reach for the sky. You're gonna let your arms fall behind your ankles. Sweep back up. Okay. Let's just finish with a little body clap. Awakened body of John. There we go. Nice little pain-free movement session for the spine and neck.
Feel pretty good there, John.
Yeah, good.
Yep. Awesome. So Greg left us midstream here, so he's not on with us, but we got a bunch of YouTube questions coming in.
Sweet.
So, okay, so yeah, the first is coming from, looks like Eleanor, maybe, asking what program you would recommend to a 78-year-old woman that's currently on the Seven Movements platform. I think she's already a user. She already has access to all her programs. I think she's looking for a recommendation from you.
It really depends on what stuff you're really interested in doing. Like, what activities do you enjoy? Is there parts of the body that you feel aren't really feeling so great that need to get feeling better? Is there, and if you don't really have any of those things that really jump out at you right away, and you're just looking for what programs should I go? So I would say go to our Daily Dose program, which is, there's a whole bunch of them. So we've got an equipment-free one. So if you don't have any other equipment around and you just have your body weight, I think the equipment-free one is a really good one, because it specifies what type of exercise you're going to do for what tolerance you have for exercise that day. So, you know, when you kind of wake up and you're not feeling so great, or you don't have much energy, or your mood's kind of like bleh, then what we could do is you just enter that into our app, and then it'll spit out exactly what 7 movements you need to do that day based on how you're feeling. So that's what our Daily Dose programs are for. And then we've got one that's just like that. If you want to do some strength training or cardiovascular training, or we have those for a variety of different tools. And then we also have mobility and recovery programs for a variety of different tools. So the cool part about being on our platform is we've got a whole bunch of different programs for you. You just have to find the ones that might be of most interest to you, and then just add them into your daily activities.
Yeah, and I'll mention that, Eleanor, you can switch between them as much as you like. So you can test different ones out on different days and kind of see how you enjoy them. So that is an option for you as well. All right. Oh, this is actually a good question. Any recommendations for movement snacks for an office worker who likes to go for runs after work?
Oh, great one. So I'm going to be like really stereotypical here and assume that when you go for runs, sometimes your ankles or your hips or your knees don't feel so great. So we have specific office programs that deal with specific joint issues. And here's the best part. If you did like the joint or did like the foot and the ankle drills in the office program, I guarantee you're going to feel lighter on your feet. If you do the knee program, you're going to feel like, oh, I've got so much space in my knee. My knee doesn't bother me while I'm running. If you do the thoracic spine, remember when we're running, your body's moving like this. It's coiling, right? So if you're really rigid when you run, you might want to do the thoracic spine office program as well. But those are small little things you can do throughout the day that'll make your afternoon run or post work run feel really good.
Awesome. And he's saying, how often should he movement snack as an office worker?
I would get up every hour and maybe do 60 seconds every hour. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do something every like 7 minutes every hour. But if you did like one exercise within those strategies for 60 seconds and then you just repeated it, you're going to feel fantastic. So there's lots of ways you can do it. I know that people are really, really busy and it's hard to squeeze in a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing. But if you're having a 10-minute break, go ahead and do a 7-minute routine if you've got time to be able to do that.
Awesome. Awesome. Another good question we get from time to time. Will movement snacking make a difference for me? I'm already very athletic.
Yeah, great question. So when I was working with pro athletes and Olympic athletes, they were always snacking. So there's always something that they're doing to try to make themselves just to feel a little bit better. Movement snacking is a great intervention for people that don't exercise and need to start learning how to exercise a little bit more. But for active people, think of it like just giving yourself a tune-up, right? Like the F1 machines that come driving into the pit crew, they do tiny little tweaks to get them out onto the track really fast and rocking and rolling again, right? So think about your last workout. Rate your previous workout that you did. That's something that I do all the time. I write down everything that I did, and then I give myself a little rating, and then I ask myself, well, what could have been better? Was it a part of my body that didn't quite feel so great, right? And if it's like, oh, my left hip was a little sticky in my squat, all right, maybe I'll do some movement snacking for my left hip the following day so that it doesn't get too sore, jammed up, or become a problem in the future. So I start to think of like my body, if my body was a car, like how would I give it the tune-up that I need so that I can go out racing, you know? And so that's the way I kind of approach movement snacking, because I'm a very active person as well, but I use snacks all the time.
Awesome. Awesome. I think that's it for questions. So I'll just say for those of you who are joining us almost every week, because I recognize some names in the stream, which is really cool. Keep an eye on Seven Movements. We got some new stuff brewing over the next week or two. So keep an eye on your emails. We'll have some new programs launching and a whole bunch of new stuff for you. So excited to have you join Monday, Pain Free Movement Monday Live Lab here with John Sinclair. We'll see you next Monday.